What's up, guys? Time to show off another cool build. This is the second Mississinewa build that I have done. We have yet another person who was on this ship. So we have a custom lasered in brass dial that has been pipped around. This is on an automatic 2415 movement. It's a brass dial, actual brass, that we lasered and then I sanded and pipped. It's in a brushed case. We have a black PVD shark tooth bezel with a gold and black diver insert. Anchor engraved crown. So I actually just had this backed off. Anchor engraved crown. This is on a brushed link band. Custom engraved across the top. We got the ship here on the bottom, and then a little bit extra engraving inside the double locker here for Mr. Daniel. And that is the build. Oh, and black paddle hands. I don't know if I mentioned that. Black paddle hands with a black lollipop seconds hand. Custom cerakoted and lasered caseback. This is one of the patches that I was able to find online. A little harder to see since I have everything here. We can pop this off. And there's a case back on there. So this obviously has quick disconnect for your SS band. You'll just drop the bottom piece in the hole, which is tougher to do looking through a camera screen. Line it up here, push the tab down, and then walk that top one in there. It's kind of like a toilet paper holder. So you just have to squeeze both sides, and you've got this to compress one side. And that is the build. So very similar to build number one, except this is on a stainless steel band. We have some custom lasering inside there. Same style case, dial, bezel, and insert, but different style crowns. Same style case back, different style hands. But that is the build. Hopefully, Daniel loves it. Appreciate you guys reaching out to me. It was a very stressful build. We learned about it last weekend and was able to get things rolling at Christmas time and actually get it to put together. So, bezel on this will turn left, it'll turn right. It is just a tension ring bezel. Non-clickable style, so it's just held on there with the tension ring. Man, had something in my throat for a while. Automatic mechanical, so you can wind it, you can wear it, you can put it in a watch winder. But if it's dead or you're not going to be very active, make sure you wind it just a little bit. And how you do that is you back the crown off the threads until you hear it and feel it clicking. At that point, you can wind. And a wind is a turn away from you. Turning it towards you doesn't wind it, but it is a little bit easier to do your winding going back and forth. If you do it just this way, sometimes you start threading it on, which isn't a problem. You just back it off and do it again. But I'm just kind of doing that like this, keeping my fingers spaced off the side. So that's your wind. If you do that for 4 or 5 seconds before you put it on, that mixed with your rotor movement, which you can't see, but you've got a rotor that swings, which is winding for you, and a stainless steel movement holder in there. So can't really see it, but it's behind this case back. So that mixed with that will keep your time throughout the day. But if you are not going to be active at all, driving all day, sitting at a desk all day, if you wind this thing for 14, 15 seconds, you're going to max out your 31 plus hour power reserve on it. You cannot overwind it, so don't worry about that. When you're happy with your winding, you're going to pull it to your one and only click, and you can now set your time. It does not have a hacking movement, so it's going to keep going. You'll also notice you've got a wobble crown. This deflects lateral pressure from going into the stem and into the movement. So when you're pushing and prying on it, you are not putting any adverse pressure on your movement. And it also doesn't transfer anything into the keyless works or the movement when this is screwed in. The clutch system disconnects if it would have a side impact. It doesn't transfer into there. But then you can set your time. Okay, Google, what time is it? 1:37 p.m. When you're good, you're going to push it over, get it out of that time setting, and then wind it down. If it doesn't start, just go backwards a little bit and find that catch, and screw it down. And that is the build. As with every build, we do matching fashion beads. I don't know that we want to use the word fashion, but fashionable for picks. If you don't wear them, let the wife wear them. But we'll match the watch. It's going to come in a brown stained BBW special edition box. It's going to come with a few things. It's going to come with watch cleaner. This is good on all glass and metal parts of this watch as a whole. Non-streaky, non-toxic, non-residue. And it's going to come with a silver, kind of looks like this, microfiber to wipe your watch down. This is all brushed, so if you would ever put a scratch into the case, if you use the green side of a Scotch-Brite and just brush in one direction, like around your case, you're going to do like your half circle, right? Because it's milled that way. But on these are flat. So if you'd ever put a scratch or something into the clasp or anything, just go straight down with the green side of the Scotch-Brite and brush it in. You're basically just kind of covering it by like making it not as noticeable. So that's what you do with that. And then lastly, you're going to also have some fine scratch remover. This is Novus 2 from Amazon. It's just repackaged. It's like a poly watch, and it's because you have an acrylic glass, which is a plastic, and you can scratch it. But if you do, no big deal. Put a tiny bit of this on it and buff it out using your color-matched microfiber. If the scratch is up and down, go left and right, filling that scratch, haze the scratch, buff it out. If it's still there, wait a little bit, let that solidify, and then come back and do it again. Kind of like letting drywall mud harden. If it's still wet, you're going to pull it right back out when you do it again. So you're just going to build that layer back up. So kind of what you do with like headlights, stuff like that. Those yellow. You don't have a yellowing issue, but if you would have scratches on your headlights, you'd do kind of the similar thing with plastic. But that is the build. I hope you like it. We were able to put it together quite quickly. With these, find the recessed areas. That's where the punch is going to go. The side that looks flat, looks like a screw head, isn't a screw head. Those are not screw heads. You're going to use a punch, and you're going to punch this out that way. You're going to punch the next one out that way. When you feed them back in, feed them back that way. All it is a piece of metal folded over on itself. That's why it looks like a little slot there. It's just the metal folded over on itself, and the other end is a point. Or, the bended area, right? And then when you're going to put it back in the same way you took it out. So you're going to force it out that way. You're going to lead with that pointed end. You're going to go back in. And when you tap it back in, these aren't as long as the width of the links. So when you tap it in flat, it's going to be recessed about this far back so that you have a place for your punch to go in again. So you're going to tap it out that way. You're going to put the point back. The point's the last thing to come out. It's the first thing to go back in, and tap it back down. On the other side, it's facing the other way. So these are this way. You're going to go to the recessed here. There's a nice little, there should be arrows. Is there arrows? Are there arrows? Let's see. There's no arrows, so it's just you have to know those things. The one thing you don't want to do is just feed it the wrong direction, because it will spring itself open going in between links if you feed it in the wrong way. So just put it back in the same way you take it out. I promise you it's easy. But that's how you take it apart. Also, you have some micro adjustments right here. So how you would use that is you can see how this is set to pop in right here, right? If this moves over one click, that's a half a link. If it moves over both clicks, it's a full link. So how you do that is you just kind of depress that with a small punch, or I always use fine tooth tweezers. So it's spring bar as well. So you're just going to push that down, and as you've pushed it down, it's cleared it. Just kind of put some tension on it and push it over to that next one. Then flip it over, push that one down, and kick it over to the next one. That's what I do. That's the easiest way to do it. So that is how you would set your watch, set your links. Nothing too terrible to do. And that is the build. I appreciate you guys a ton. I hope you loves it, and a Merry Christmas. If you want me to build you something custom and unique, reach out and I'll see what I can do. And if you want to continue to see videos like this, like and subscribe, as I put them up all the time. Thanks, guys.